It's near midnight, and I'm crouched at my mother's headstone with a flashlight. This was the only hour I could get out here. So this is when it gets done. Watch the beam. I'm pouring bleach across the stone, and the black lifts right off. The marble goes white, and her name comes back like it was cut yesterday. Feels good. Looks like I just fixed her grave in 1 minute for free. I didn't. What I actually did was pour salt into a soft old stone that will be cracking and flaking by next summer. So let me set this jug down where I can't reach and tell you what's actually going to happen in this video. There is a black-green crust growing on almost every old headstone in this country, and it isn't just hiding the names, it is eating them. And I'll prove that to you in a few minutes with the chemistry to back it up. The two most popular cures on the internet, bleach and a pressure washer, look like miracles on camera and destroy the stone within a year. And before we're done, I'm going to walk you 2 rows over to a grave that got the bleach treatment 14 months ago so you can see the damage with your own eyes. The exact method the conservators use on the 400,000 headstones at Arlington National Cemetery and on the White House itself. It costs about $1 a stone and takes 1 afternoon. When we're done, you'll be able to walk out this weekend and bring back any name in your family, your mother's, your grandfather's, a stone nobody has touched in 80 years, without doing it 1 bit of harm. And you'll get the receipts on the $200 the cleaning companies charge for this. A free flashlight trick that reads, "Names worn completely flat." And the 1 stone in every cemetery you must never put a brush on at all. My name's Earl. I've kept the family stones in this cemetery for better than 30 years. 11 of them are mine to look after now. And my knees want you to know the flashlight in the teeth was the easy part. Let's do the whole thing right now. First, lay your flat palm on the face and push gently. If it rocks, you're done for the day. Today becomes a phone call to the cemetery office because a loose 100-year-old slab can go over on you, and it weighs more than you think. Second, wet your fingers and rub the stone. If white grains come off on your hand like sugar, you also stop. That stone is failing. And near the end of this video, I'll show you exactly what that means. Solid and nothing on your hand? Good. 95 out of 100 pass. We're cleaning this one. Step 2, soak it. Here's the whole kit while I pour 2-gallon jugs of plain water or a cheap pump sprayer, a soft nylon brush like they sell for scrubbing vegetables, $6, a worn toothbrush from the bathroom drawer, and a flat wooden paint stirrer the hardware store hands out free. You wet the entire stone top to bottom, and then you do nothing for 5 minutes. You let it drink. Dry, that crust is glued down hard, and a brush on a dry stone tears the surface away with the dirt. Wet, everything softens and half the work does itself. While she drinks, tap the subscribe button down under this video. It's free, and it's the only thing I'll ask you for tonight. Now we've got 5 minutes, so let me tell you what that black crust actually is. Because if you think it's dirt, nothing else in this video will make sense. It's not dirt, it's alive. Algae, mold, and lichen. And the lichen is the one doing the real damage because lichen doesn't sit on a stone. It eats it. It sinks root-like anchors called holdfasts down into the pores, and it secretes oxalic acid, the same acid family they bottle and sell as rust remover, which etches the very surface it's gripping. And the living mat on top holds rainwater against the stone like a sponge that never dries. So every winter that trapped water freezes, swells, and pries the surface a little farther apart, a crusted headstone is being dissolved and pried at the same time, a little more every season it stands. That's the real clock on this job. Every year you wait, the letters sit a hair shallower. The National Park Service runs a preservation lab down in Natchitoches, Louisiana, that studies exactly this, biological growth on grave markers, and their finding is the same thing the old cemetery sextons always knew. The growth isn't decoration on the decay, it is the decay. And the cruel joke is that the most popular cure on the internet is faster than the disease. Bleach kills the surface growth, sure, and leaves the acid-etched pores wide open, packed with salt, with the holdfasts still alive underneath. You haven't cured anything, you've fertilized it and armed it. That's why we do this the slow way. Step 3, she's had her drink. Brush with water only, nothing else yet. Soft nylon brush, light hand, small circles, and you start at the bottom of the stone and work up. Sounds backwards. It isn't. Dirty runoff streaking down over dry stone below burns brown tracks and that never come out. So the bottom gets cleaned first, and everything above rinses down over stone that's already wet. Keep splashing water on as you go. The stone stays wet the whole time. Where moss sits in fat clumps, take the wooden stirrer, lay it flat against the stone and push the clump off sideways. Flat, always. Tip that stick onto its corner and dig, and you're carving. Wood is softer than granite, but it is not softer than old marble. The toothbrush is for down inside the letters, following the cut of each one gently. Step 4, the crust itself. Whatever's still black or green after water and bristles. The living stuff we just talked about, you do not press harder. You reach for a jug called D2 Biological Solution, about $40 a gallon, sold online and at monument suppliers, and whoever named it wasn't in marketing, which is the first honest thing about it. Hold that $40 price. I'm going to do arithmetic on it shortly that will make you smile. You use it straight from the jug, no diluting. The stone's already wet. Now saturate the whole face with D2 and let it sit and work for 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, that's 10 to 15, and by the time it takes to walk down the row and back twice. Your only job while it sits is keeping it wet, if a patch. Starts drying in the breeze, mist it again because it only works wet. And you'll watch that black crust come off gray and dead. And right here is the one rule this whole video hangs on, so listen even if you're half doing the dishes. You don't scrub a grave clean, you coax it. Wet stone, soft brush, let the cleaner do the killing. Every pound of pressure you add past gentle comes out of the stone, not the stain. The stain is temporary, the stone is what you came to save. Step 5, rinse and walk away. Rinse the whole stone with clean water, top to bottom, until every trace of cleaner is gone. Residue dries in streaks, and you'll stand there wondering why a clean stone looks dirty. Then the finish, which is nothing. No wax, no polish, and never, ever a sealer. Sealer traps water inside the stone, winter freezes it, and the face pops off like a bottle cap. Bare, clean, and dry is the finish a conservator signs his name to. D2 keeps killing that growth for weeks after you leave, and the rain finishes the job for free. If it rains within 12 hours of application, come back and put more on. It wants 45 degrees or warmer to work, which makes the warm months your window. And that window is open right now. That's the whole method. Check it, soak it, brush it, treat it, rinse it. 5 steps, one afternoon, and the hardest tool in the bag is patience. Start at the top. Professional grave cleaning services run $100 to $300 per stone. That's the going rate you'll find quoted around the country. And the honest ones are using the identical $40 jug I just showed you, plus a soft brush and a drive out to the cemetery. Run my jug the other direction. 1 gallon of D2 covers 250 to 350 square feet. An average headstone both faces is maybe 8 or 10. 1 gallon cleans 30 to 40 stones. That's $1 and change per stone, done by the person who actually loved the name on it, against $200 for a stranger with the same jug. Then there's the free option, which is the expensive one. Bleach is sodium hypochlorite, sodium salt, and old marble and limestone are porous as a sponge. The face pits, then flakes, then sheets off, starting about a year after the day it looked so good. Bleach doesn't bill you at the register. It bills you next summer. Vinegar is honest chemistry pointed the wrong way. Marble is calcium carbonate, the same stuff as an antacid tablet, and any acid dissolves it on contact. You're not cleaning the letters, you're melting them a little rounder with every rinse. And then there's the content industry. There are whole channels right now built on pressure washing and foam wiping headstones. Millions of views per video, one glorious wipe. The crowd goes wild. And there are stone conservators publicly begging them to stop because every satisfying swipe takes the crisp edge of the carving off with the crust. 100 years of somebody's name sanded off in an afternoon for the algorithm. I don't think most of them mean harm. So why does the gentle jug win where the harsh ones fail? Because you have to kill the growth at the root, not scorch it on top. D2 is a quaternary ammonium solution, same family of chemistry as that blue jar of barbicide the combs sit in at the barber shop, and it kills the lichen and mold all the way down through those holdfasts, then floats the dead material loose so the weather sweeps it away. No salt, no acid, no bleach, nothing left behind for the stone to fight. It was developed by stone conservators, and when that National Park Service Preservation Lab in Louisiana put 5 commercial cleaners head-to-head on government-issued headstones, D2 came out the recommendation, which is why it's what gets used at Arlington and on the White House. My mother's stone gets the identical treatment as a president's memorial. Her budget was just smaller. The stone behind me is rinsed and working, so while it does, let me stack up the rest of what 30 years out here has taught me. 6 more tricks, cheapest first, and the ruined grave I promised you is waiting in the middle of them. First trick, learn what stone you're looking at because the stone decides how gentle your hand is, and it takes 10 seconds. Granite is the speckled one, usually polished like a countertop. Hardest thing in the row, forgives mistakes. And it's what nearly every stone cut after about 1930 is made of. Marble is the white or soft gray one, and here's the rule of thumb. If the date carved on it falls between about 1850 and 1930, odds are good you're looking at marble, because that was the fashion for 80 straight years, and marble gets softer every decade it stands in the rain. Limestone and sandstone, the tan and buff ones on the very oldest graves, are softer still. Quick tell if the speckles don't settle it. Granite holds a shine after a century. Old marble has gone matte and faintly grainy. The older and paler the stone, the lighter the touch, and on anything cut before 1900, the wooden stir stays in your pocket and the brush barely whispers. Second trick, completely free, and the real reason I was out here at midnight. Say the name is worn so flat you can't read it with your nose an inch from the stone. A century of rain does that to marble, for the acid reasons I gave you earlier. You don't touch the stone at all. You wait for dusk or dark, hold a flashlight flat against the edge of the stone so the beam skims sideways across the face, like sunset light down a plowed field, and watch the name come back. Names that vanished 50 years ago read out like a newspaper. It's the standard trick of every genealogist and cemetery surveyor working today, and it costs nothing. Photograph the stone while the light is raking, and that name is saved forever. Daytime version, a cheap mirror, or even a sheet of foil, bouncing sunlight sideways across the face. Same physics, same free. Third, a warning about a trick because you'll see it recommended in every genealogy group online. Spraying shaving cream on the stone and squeegeeing it off to read the name. Or the flower version, or laying paper over the carving and rubbing it with chalk or crayon. Skip all 3. The cream and the flour carry grease and mild acids down into the pores where no rinse ever reaches, and rubbing puts pressure exactly where the stone is weakest. Enough damage has been done that plenty of historic cemeteries now ban rubbings outright. Everything those tricks promise, the flashlight delivers from a foot away without touching anything. Now come with me 2 rows over, because I want you to meet a stone, and I'd rather you learn this from Carl's afternoon than from your own. Carl is my old neighbor Ruth's nephew, and the first spring after Ruth passed, he did what a good-hearted man does. Went out to her grave with supplies. His supplies were a jug of bleach and a stiff deck brush, and he worked that marble like he was cleaning a grill grate. And the picture he sent me that evening looked, I'll admit it, brand new. This is that stone, 14 months later. Look at it. The face is lifting and flaking like pie crust. The letters have gone soft and round-shouldered. That chalky pale streak down the middle is where the bleach burned deepest, and it's permanent. He scrubbed when he should have coaxed it. Carl and I came back with water and D2 and saved what was left. It reads fine, and it will keep shedding a little of itself every winter for the rest of its life, because no product in any store puts stone back. Carl keeps a soft brush in his truck now. I'm told he teaches this at his church, whether anybody asks or not. Fourth trick, and it's the cheapest fix in this whole video, and it's worn or damaged past reading. You may not need to clean anything. The VA will furnish a brand new replacement at no cost to the family. One form, VA Form 401330, ask the cemetery office or the county veterans officer to help you file it. And whoever's stone it is, make one phone call before your first visit, the cemetery office. 2 minutes, they'll almost always say yes, and more of them than you'd guess keep a jug of D2 in the shed for folks who ask. You want permission before you touch a monument, even your own mother's, especially somebody else's. Fifth trick, the lazy man's reward. Once a stone is clean, keeping it clean costs almost nothing. One light spray of D2 across the face once a year. No brushing, no rinsing. Spray and walk away and let the weather work, and the growth never gets a foothold again. 5 minutes a visit. While you're there, pull the grass and built-up soil back from the base of the stone, because wet dirt piled against stone wicks water up into it day and night, and that damp bottom foot is always where the crust starts. Clear base dry stone, 1 spray a year. That's the whole maintenance plan for the next 30 years. Now the honest talk, so nobody has to write me an angry comment in August. This method removes growth and grime. It does not put back what's gone. Carving that acid and weather already dissolved is gone. The raking light will let you read it, but the stone itself won't return. A bleach scar, like Ruth's, cannot be unburned, and stone that bleach already whitened stays that shade. And come back in 2 or 3 weeks to find the rain. Did your second pass for you? The worst cases want a third. Granite tolerates nearly anything. Marble, limestone, and sandstone tolerate very little, which is why every step in this video leans gentle. The stones worth saving are usually the soft ones. What you get for the patience is a stone that stays clean for years on one 5-minute spray a season. That's the trade, and I'll take it every time. And here is the one grave you leave completely alone, the warning from step 1. If white grains came off on your wet palm like sugar, that marble is doing what the conservators call sugaring. The surface itself is let go, and the stone is failing. Same verdict for a stone with a crack running through it, or one that rocks on its base. For those, your whole job is a photograph in raking light so the name is saved, and a call to the cemetery or a stone conservator for the rest. Sometimes the most respectful thing your hands can do at a grave is stay in your pockets. And cleaning day is never straightening day. A leaning stone is a rigging job, not a scrubbing job. Here's my own receipt, since I flipped everybody else's. The gallon of D2 in my shed is the only one I have ever bought. It has cleaned my mother's stone, Ruth's, and 39 more down these rows, 41 stones. My mother's I did 6 years ago this month, one Saturday afternoon, and her name reads as crisp tonight as the day I rinsed it. That gallon is going to outlast me, which is a strange brag to make standing in a cemetery, but there it is. There's no commercial for a jug of water and a $6 brush, and nobody gets rich telling you to wait 10 minutes. The $200 version of this job exists because patience is the one thing they can't put in a bottle. So here's the whole thing on one card. The kit: plain water, a soft nylon brush for $6, a toothbrush from the drawer, a free wooden paint stirrer, and one $40 gallon of D2 biological solution. That does every stone your family has at about $1 a piece. The 5 steps: check the stone, push test, then wet fingers, and sugar means stop. Soak the whole stone and let it drink 5 minutes. Brush with water only. Soft, small circles, bottom to top, stirrer held flat for moss. Treat the crust with D2 straight from the jug, 10 to 15 minutes, kept wet, then brush gently. Rinse every trace off with clean water, and the finish is nothing. No sealer, ever. Bare, clean, dry. Reapply if it rains within 12 hours, 45 degrees or warmer, one light spray a year after that. And the rule: don't scrub, coax it. The weather's right for the next few months, so pick your Saturday, take the water, take the brush, take somebody who remembers the name. Then come back to the comments and tell me 2 things. 1, whose stone are you going to clean, and what's the oldest date carved in your family's row? 2, has anyone in your family ever hit a stone with bleach or a wire brush, meaning well, and how does it look today? I read everyone. Mix nothing, press gently, and coax it.